Good evening and welcome to the SpeakerMC Show. The SpeakerMC Show hosted by me, Marcia Chambers. The SpeakerMC Show is a 60-minute long, engaging, interactive, discussion-filled show with two guests. And our two guests are going to ply you with information, tips, and we're going to exhaustively investigate tonight's show topic. And tonight's show topic, I know, is going to resonate with a whole lot of people. It's called, Why Am I So Broke? So many people suffer from that dysfunction. Why am I so broke? And tonight's guests are going to discover or discuss, I should say, what exactly does it mean to be broke, how it shows up, how do you recognize someone as being broke, and really what are the root causes of them being broke? Is it really that they're lazy, or they don't have a good paying job, or they just have too much month and not enough money, like Jim Rohn said? Or is it something deeper than that? So we're going to discuss these issues. And then we're going to offer you some tips on how to relieve yourself of this dysfunction, this being broke, so you won't be so broke anymore. So I'll take this time right now to introduce both our guests. Our first guest is the renowned Dr. Minette Riordan. Minette is the CEO of Path to Profit Academy in Santa Barbara, California. Let's say, hey!
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 Minette's area of expertise is business models, business strategies, and marketing and sales. She's an award-winning entrepreneur and best-selling author of The Artful Marketer. The Fundamental Business Guide for Creative Entrepreneurs, Dr. Minette Riordan successfully built a multimedia publishing company, turning a small quarterly newspaper into a monthly magazine with a circulation of over 50,000 copies. Woo! Minette! Yes!
Great.
She will be sharing her tips and her wealth of knowledge with us tonight. So let's give her a round of applause. Welcome, Minette! Yay! And our second guest is our esteemed connector from New York and the New Jersey area. He just can't be from one area. He has to be from all over. His name is Singh. Give him a round of applause. Welcome, Sukhtej.
Yay!
Thank you.
Sukhtej's area of expertise is financial services. He is a driven, passionate, and charismatic financial consultant. I can attest to that. Charisma is not short in this man's DNA. He's very passionate about working with people from all walks of life and empowering them to take control of their financial resources through relatable coaching tips and forward-thinking consulting services. So let's say welcome, Sukhtej.
Welcome, welcome.
All right.
Right.
So, as is usual with the SpeakerMC Show, there's always a reason why a show topic is a show topic. And Why Am I So Broke was inspired by a very close friend of mine. Now, she's been married for umpteen years. She and her husband have really well-paying jobs. But every time I have a conversation with her, oh man, I'm just so broke. I don't know if it's a habit of her saying that she's always so broke, if that's affecting the whole mindset thing here. But even after she says, I'm so broke, she says, I'm just going to go shopping. Hello? Is that why you're so broke? Because you're just constantly shopping? So it leads me to think two things. Sometimes people have some deep-rooted issues going on why they constantly try to cover it up with, well, let me buy more things, buy more things, buy more things. But what I want us to explore tonight is, what does it mean to be broke? Can someone expand on that for me, Suki, Minette? What does it mean to you to be broke?
Go ahead, Suki. You can start.
Well, for
Great
me,
question.
it's not the typical not having money. I think I am broke is saying you have no way out. So you're already predicting and telling your future by saying I'm broke. It's not just about the money. It's just about your mental, physical, and emotional capacity is just broken. So it's not just about the money.
Okay, that's an interesting take on it. I like it. And what do you say, Minette?
So I really like that take on it. I think sometimes I am broke is an excuse or a story that we like to tell ourselves so that we don't have to take full responsibility for our money. One of my mentors always said, how you do money is how you do everything. And I found that to be true for myself and my clients. And so it also, that mentality of being broke keeps us at an income level of always just enough. Always having just enough. And so that's a mindset issue. It's an internal issue. A lot of the work I do with my clients is about our mindset around money. And a lot of us, depending on where we grew up, when we grew up, like I was raised by a stepfather who grew up during the Depression era. So there was a lot of hoarding, insecurity, wanting to hide money, not trusting the market or investing, all the things that Suki's really smart at, so there was this feeling of money was a secret. But I always grew up with the belief that we always had just enough. And just enough is not abundance. It is not flow. It's not extra left over to invest. But back to what you said about the shopping, right? Definitely that's got to be unique to this country, I think, right? It's certainly to the Western world that shopping is therapy. And I would freely admit to being guilty of that as a young adult and not really knowing what it meant to have debt, to have credit cards. And I would also say that there's very little financial education happening for our young people. And that if we were to really teach our kids how to manage their money from a young age, that we wouldn't have a lot of the problems that we have as adults.
Right.
Well, the other thing that I heard pretty frequently in growing up and even now is that money is evil. And I always say, no, money is not evil. Money, the love of money is evil. When you love money to the point where you will do anything for money, now that's some evil stuff. But what do you think about that, Suki, as a financial analyst and guru?
I think the love of money definitely is the root cause of a lot of people. I think acquiring it and having that mindset of money is everything, because I've had that mindset before. So I've experienced that, and it can really ruin parts of your life. So I definitely think money is just a way to express yourself and just live life, but it can't be your entire life.
So what do you say to those people who are constantly buying the lotto? Because they want to get rich now. They're looking for that quick fix.
Yes.
What do you say to people like that? There's so many people. I go to the store, and sometimes I go to this wine shop, and the wine shop has a lotto section. And I swear to God, the line for the lotto is longer than the line for the wine. And I would say to the guy, the cashier, how come there's so many people buying lotto? And he'll say to me, yeah, they'll buy and they'll scratch it off and they'll lose. And sometimes they'll win, and the same money they win, they just invest it right there and then. So it's like easy come, easy go.
Right.
And then some of these people, when you watch the news and you see, oh, they won the lotto, how many millions of dollars that they won, they're broke again. They're broke again. So maybe that speaks to what you're saying about the mindset, Suki.
Yeah, I think with the lotto, definitely, because I used to play the lotto, and now I laugh when I see people on the lotto. I say, just give me $1. Why? It's going to be better. I'll better invest $1 in buying something than the lotto. But yeah, the lotto is something that it's something really that's really manufactured, created by the government in the cities to just make an income stream for them, because it's not. Everyone knows that it's more for pleasure. It's not really for a real type of investment of some type. So.
Well, no, they used to say that, the lotto would go towards the school system. Is that true, or was...
I don't know, but I highly, highly doubt it. I highly doubt that. But again, I don't know for sure.
So I think the fascinating thing about the lotto is that the people who win still have a money mindset and a money set point. Mm-hmm. So if they had no money, they go through their lotto money really fast and they get right back to that same set point they had before.
Right.
So it's all well and good to win the lottery and to have these mega millions flowing into your life. But if you don't have the skills to manage it, it really doesn't do you any good. And it's actually heartbreaking to hear the stories about what happens to people that win the lottery in the years afterwards, right? It doesn't really positively impact their life, which says something about the state of money. Mm-hmm. And yet I truly believe that money is simply an even exchange of services, right? So we pay money to get what we need. And so I think that we need to stop thinking of money as evil, money as love, money as whatever we think it. And remember that money is the current thing that we use to barter. It used to be, I could trade eggs for seeds or eggs for fabric. I had a great call with another New Yorker this week for my podcast, a woman named Ivy Slater. And I love the
Ivy, yeah, we know
Ivy.
And so talking about this idea of, money is just the current way that we barter for services. Mm-hmm. And when you take the emotion out of money, and just remember that it's a lot simpler than we think it is, that it doesn't need to be so complex and it doesn't need to be emotional. And when we take the emotion out of it, it makes so much more sense to give our money to somebody like Suki and suck it away, to not hold on to it, to not let go of it. That money is simply an exchange of services.
That's awesome. That is awesome, because that also speaks to not only the gamblers and just going around the mindset theory. So we are taught growing up that you work hard, you go to school, get a good job, and you save, then you'll be fine, right? How many people are doing that and they're still broke? How many people have landed this fabulous job, say like an athlete? So these athletes, they don't have that mindset about how to handle a lot of money.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they're flourished with all these millions of dollars, these sponsors, and everybody is just throwing money at them. And then after their athletic career is over, say like 5-10 years, they're broke. They're just broke. So with knowing that the usual, how should I say it? The usual theory about treating money and the money mindset is that, get a good job and all that. How can we dispel that theory? Because it's not working. In 2014, even though they said that there's so many households, I think 9.6 million households in 2014 were shown to have a net worth of $1 million. So $1 million really isn't that much money anymore.
Not in California, it's not.
Not in New York, it isn't. How would you now have people adapt this new way of thinking about money? Okay?
I would say that you have to get to know yourself. That's the main thing. You have to really dig deep and get to know yourself and be fully aware of what your tendencies are and your habits. And it takes a long time. It took me a very long time and a lot of emotional turmoil to get to know who I really am and what I think my relationship of money should be. So it's really about who you are and who really is handling the money? Is it just, are you doing it consciously? Are you doing it unconsciously? Are you doing it? Because a lot of people handle money like their parents did.
Yeah.
That's the fact. That's like like a proven fact that you'll handle money either like your father did or your mother did, or a combination of both. So
yeah, I totally agree with that. And Suki, I'm curious. I had this conversation with a client today who is 3 years out from selling a business that she has with a partner and trying to look at what's next, and noticing that our traditional model of I work till I'm 60, I retire and I live for a decade on what I've invested and saved is changing because we're living so much longer.
yeah.
And so I'm seeing so many people starting new careers, becoming entrepreneurs, looking for new streams of revenue post 60 years of age. They're still very alive, very lively, very interested, very engaged. They're not looking to retire. And also this like sudden, and I see this a lot here in Santa Barbara, the sudden awareness of, oh crap, right? It's like what I've invested and saved for is not going to be enough to carry me another 30 years. It used to be you would retire at 60 or 65 and you'd live maybe 10 years and you'd plan for that. But now suddenly people are living much longer. So I think our whole consciousness around retirement needs a massive shift as well, right? And so how do we help educate people to start thinking about what's possible for ourselves financially now, but also to sort of really take care of ourselves for the long term, for the future? And are we looking at a later age for retirement? Just curious what your thoughts are.
With retirement specifically, I think it, like you said, it starts with schools. So one of my sort of large visions is to have a financial literacy taught in every high school in the USA.
As a mother of two teenagers, I'm all in for that.
Yes.
Because then that'll alleviate a lot of problems people have, a lot of anxiety. But in terms of retirement, I think there really is no, in this day and age, no set rule for retirement. It's really about where you choose to live, because if you choose to live in, say, Thailand, it can be very cheap. So some people can manage, save their money, and they say at this age, I'm going to save X amount, and then I'm going to live the next 10 years in, say, Thailand or China.
Yeah.
But for your friend, for your client who said, who's sold her business, now it's really, she's thinking about what's next. So she has so many options in terms of, like, what I would do, I would really think about where I want to be after 5 years, and then work backwards. So, like, if my end goal is to live in Hawaii on the beach at 50 years old, work back from there.
Yeah.
How would I get there?
Yeah.
So I'll have the end goal. Of course, the end goal will change, probably, but you'll have sort of at least something in your head that you envision and that you can go for. So that then you can say, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and make a game plan. And of course, the game plans will change. Everything changes, but at least that'll give you a start.
I love that concept, because I find that the same thing happens to people that are entrepreneurs and business owners, is that they don't have an end goal in mind. I made that mistake when I started my publishing company. I didn't know where I was going. I was just going, and it was growing and lots of money was flowing in, but I didn't know where I was going. And it created a lot of havoc. It created a total roller coaster, cash flow challenges, everything. And so that end goal is important for today, for 10 years from now, and for retirement as well. And I loved what you said about Thailand, because I'm seeing more and more people going to Thailand.
Yeah.
And I think it's all about lifestyle, Marcia, right? Looking at the lifestyle. Like, we chose to live in Santa Barbara, California. It is not a cheap place to live, right? But we planned for it. We saved for it. We were very intentional about coming here. And I see people who love living here and who make a lot of sacrifices to stay here. And so I think it's being really clear about what is the lifestyle that you want. has a lot to do with money. So back to your friend that you started the conversation about, Marcia, who's like, why am I so broke? It's all about a lifestyle, right? And what's the lifestyle that she's choosing to live, that they're spending both of these nice incomes?
Right, right. So there are a couple of things that I wanted to touch on. You guys raised some excellent points. The first thing, the word retire. I just take issue with that word retire because so many people feel that, okay, now I'm 65. I don't even know what the retirement age is. Is it 65 or 75? Whatever it is, they feel like, okay, now I can go to the graveyard and just die and relax. When there's so many people who started businesses, like Ray Kroc, he started his business at 53.
Yeah.
Wow.
Chicken Man, Colonel Sanders.
He
started his business at 55.
Yeah.
The guy that owns Wendy's. I mean, these might be food establishments, but still, the fact of the matter is they got over the hump. They're in midlife and they're starting businesses. So it's not to say that, yeah, you retire and then you just die. I've come across a few retirees lately and they're so bored. They are so bored. They say, oh, I don't know what to do. Oh, well, go open a business. I don't want to do that because they're so conditioned to get up, go to work, come home, and get up, go to work, come home. So now that they don't have to get up and do that, they busy themselves with all these other little knick-knack nonsense that it's not fulfilling their lives. And they're just, so they're just waiting on death to come. I think that is so silly. That's the retirement. Then the second thing I wanted to touch on was the fact that with the mindset towards money, could it also be that we, instead of, what is the word that I'm looking at? Instead of looking at money as this godforsaken entity, just realize that it's energy and it has to pass through everyone. It has to exchange. If money doesn't exchange with other energies, it just dies. You ever seen someone who's saved some money under a mattress for years and years? It just looks like a piece of crap. It just crumples. So the money just has to exchange energies all around. So I think that if people adapted that mindset, knowing that money is energy, as opposed to, oh my God, it's so revered, that maybe that would help them in looking at it differently and treating it a little bit different, that thing. And the other thing with my friend who likes to shop, I'm thinking that maybe it's something a little bit more psychological, that maybe there's something missing, in the heart space or something, that there's an ache, there's a pain, there's a trauma. And that's what I would like for us to start to investigate. That may be a deeper seated problem with people's reaction, people's interaction with money, and they're constantly being broke or constantly not having enough. Maybe besides trying to keep up with the Joneses, or besides trying to keep up a good appearance, or besides not, I don't know, too much months at the end of the money or something, that maybe if they look at the deeper causes, then maybe they'll have a different takeaway to the money. I want to hear your thoughts on that. Minette?
Yeah, so I'll start with the money is energy piece. You brought up a lot of great pieces there. And I truly do believe that money is energy. It's what we teach our clients. Mm-hmm. And that the more that money is in flow, the happier it is.
Yes.
And at church on Sunday, there was a beautiful poem shared by Lucille Clifton, who's an amazing African-American poet, United States poet. Mm-hmm. And it's talking about standing at the edge of the Mississippi River and watching the water flow, and remembering that the water that you see flowing is in constant cycle. It flows through the Mississippi out into the ocean, back around, and it is constantly in motion. Mm-hmm. And that the worst place you can be is standing at the edge of the river, looking at the river saying, this is my only here and now. And so when we remember that the more that we pay attention to money and the more that we love on money, the more it stays in flow. In fact, I tell my clients, pay your bills with love. So it's pretty amazing.
Is it?
Well, yes. When you pay your electric bill, it pays for not only your electricity, but the workers in that company. And the workers in that company pay their taxes, which impacts the school system. They also go to the local grocery store and support the local farmers. And so paying one small electric bill has this amazing impact of really this beautiful trickle-down theory of supporting people. And when you pay your bills with anger and negative and I don't have enough and I can't do this, it stops the flow.
Yeah.
And it totally cuts you off from receiving the flow. So money is all about energy. It's all about love. And it sounds totally woo-woo to say that because I am a practical girl. But the truth is that we have to stop making all these emotional judgments about money. And just acknowledge that money is just currency like water that's in constant flow.
Absolutely. Oh, that was so fabulous. That might be a hard sell because it does sound a little bit out there. What do you think about that, Suki?
I agree. It's just changing the mindset. As I was saying, it can be very challenging. It took me a number of years and a lot of struggle to do that. But now you have coaches like Minette to help with that and speed up the process. So it's really more about, for me, getting the mindset right through, doing daily habits or even small practices to get your mindset right is definitely key. With definitely getting a relationship with money all right. Because first, you can easily find out. You probably already know that you handle your money like your mother, or your father, or your sister, or something. So once you get that, once you understand that, and then you can change it, or you don't have to change it if you don't want to. So it really depends on how you want to approach it. So it is a challenge initially. However, like anything else, it's going to take time, effort, and energy to really break through that.
So some of the practical solutions that I know that most people probably know is to don't pay your bills late and make a plan, keep a budget, that kind of thing, and track your expenses. But at the end of the day, and I just want to segue and give a shout out to this young man. At the end of the day, we came here with nothing. When we came here, we were all butt naked. I don't know about you, but I know I was butt naked. I didn't come here with nothing but my word. So that's all I'm going to go back with. So does it really matter all these things that we're trying to accumulate and all these things that we're trying to make a representation of how successful we are or who we are in the world and all that? I just wanted to make a shout out to this young man. I don't know if you can see the book yet. He wrote this book. The book is called Show Me a Beautiful Woman. His name is Eru Pata. And I only want to shout him out because I can't put this book down. I'll tell you the story of how I met him, but I can't put the book down. But he made a mention here. It says, but we're all living by this notion that we can actually own things and own people. The truth is, once you can die, there's no real ownership. Everything is temporary. I thought that was so profound. So profound. Yeah. So shout out to you, Mr. Pata. And I met him. I was on my way to a meeting. And in New York, as is typical on the subway, we have entertainment. So a lot of kids would come in and they'd spin around and do all kinds of craziness. And not all the time I'm in the mood for that. Sometimes I just want to chill. Well, here comes this man walking down and he's saying, hey, you want to buy a book? Show me a beautiful woman. Show me a beautiful woman. And it caught my attention. So I said, what is that? And he said, show me a beautiful, and he started to rattle off what the book was all about. It's about this guy who lives off the kindness of women. And I said, oh, is that an autobiography? And he said, well, kind of, sort of. And I said, oh, okay, well, I want to buy it. And I bought it from him. He sold it for $10. So I was going to my meeting, so I bought 2. And I'm telling you, ever since I bought it, I can't put it down. See, I'm almost finished with it now. So I just wanted to give him a shout out as a young Black man, entrepreneur, writer, doing something worthwhile. Yeah. But as he made mention, we came here with nothing. You know, is it really that serious? We don't own anything. Everything is temporary. So why is it that people are just going berserk with all this, oh, I got to get some money, I got to get this money, and killing themselves? They're dying of stress. They're having heart attacks. They're getting diabetes and getting overweight because they're stressing themselves out to try to keep up with the Joneses or give everything to their family that they can't afford. Oh, my family needs everything. But yeah, you're only working X amount and you're trying to give them Z. So how do we...
So can we just be clear, though, that money is awesome? Like having money is awesome.
Yeah, money is awesome.
Awesome. We love money.
Having great money is awesome.
Yes.
But we have to accept full responsibility for having money, right?
Okay.
So, you know, it's like whether we have just enough or we have plenty or we have tons and tons, right? It's, you know, it's having money is okay. And I think there's a big mindset challenge around this whole money is evil. It's not okay to have money. And having money is awesome. As someone who has been broke, who has been bankrupt, who has been a starving college student, who's been all of those things, having money is great. And the secret is not working harder. The secret is learning how to work smart. Whether you're in a career or whether you're an entrepreneur, it's understanding what to do with your money so that your money is working for you and not feeling like money is working against you.
Can you give us some tips on how to have our money work for us? Some tips on how to implement those strategies? Maybe one or two things.
So Sukhi would be a great one to answer that. But from my perspective, it's tracking every dollar that comes in and celebrating all the money that comes in, because we don't celebrate what we work so hard for. So those are the two things, is tracking, especially for entrepreneurs, tracking all of your income and celebrating, doing a happy dance every time you get paid, right? Every time you find a quarter on the street or you get a tax return, but it's celebrating money flowing in. And then I would love for Sukhi to talk about, once that money is in, what are some tips for what do we do with it once we have it?
There you go, Sukhi. Yeah, Minette.
Well, once you have the money, again, it's really each person has their own sort of personality. So it really depends on your personality. Like a lot of people like real estate because you can invest in real estate. It's long term. It's supposedly low risk, which I don't buy that anymore anyway, especially since 2008. So there's a lot of options. There's stocks. There's so many different options. So really, again, it comes back to knowing yourself. So if you know you don't like to take a lot of risk, then maybe putting in a savings account for a while and then learning about investing yourself and doing it yourself could be the way. Or like going to somebody and saying, I need help, or getting educated is probably the first step. But there's so many different investments now, especially with the online businesses now. Everyone is investing in themselves in terms of reading books and trying to be online more through LinkedIn, Facebook, becoming really popular. So those are all avenues to potentially create income and grow your wealth from, whether that be online marketing, whether that be a traditional brick and mortar business. So there's really a lot you can do.
So I'm curious, are you still a fan of traditional investing?
I am to a certain extent, though. It really depends on your style. I don't like the word long term anymore, because you can't really buy McDonald's stock and hold it for 40 years and expect to really retire off that. Earlier, in past generations you could, but now I think everyone should segment their money in terms of buckets. So like one bucket for long term, one bucket for short term, one for vacation, etc. And
that's where you really have to understand your own
exactly
to deal with risk, right?
Right, especially if you're married. Like a lot of couples that get married and they don't know each other's personality when it comes to money. That's like a definite discussion they need to make. So they definitely need to talk about that before they get married.
Yeah.
So then
Absolutely.
they can. So.
Absolutely.
I've been married 20 years. We should have had that conversation 20 years ago. We're still having that conversation, right? still working that out. Neither of us like to talk about the money stuff. And so it's just learning who's going to take responsibility for what. And I highly recommend people having a financial advisor like you, Sukhi, to talk to, because you don't have to know all this stuff yourself, right? I mean, that's why mentors and advisors are out there. You have to know your acceptance or aversion to risk, but you don't have to understand the stock market.
I like what you said, Sukhi, about the buckets, because that's something that T. Harv Eckert teaches. I think he teaches, I don't know if it's 6, 7, 8, or 10, but I know he says that there's a bucket for play, and I really resonate with that one. And there's a bucket for your living expenses, and a bucket for saving, and a bucket for long-term saving. So he's like, put your money in different buckets and pay yourself first. I learned that from what's the book?
The Profit First.
Babylon, The Richest Man in Babylon. Yeah, you pay yourself first. I don't care how much you get. You could get paid $20 for the week. You pay yourself first.
Right.
Make sure you take a third of that and put it somewhere and don't touch it. And that's the caveat. Don't touch it, that saving mechanism, so that when a rainy day, when it storms and hails and pours, you said, oh, I have some money saved up that I could use for that emergency. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of end up going broke, because they're full frontal with an emergency that is totally unexpected, and it just shatters their budgets.
So the best money book I've read this year is Profit First by Michael Malachowicz. I can never pronounce his last name. No, it's a longer name than that.
Oh, I think I've heard of that book. Yes, I know.
He also wrote the toilet paper business entrepreneur and the pumpkin business plan.
Wow.
He's written a lot, but Profit First was life-changing and money-changing for us. And we highly recommend it, my husband and I, for any entrepreneur that we know. So traditionally, profit is defined as revenue minus expenses equals profit. And he completely turns that upside down and says revenue minus profit equals expenses. And it makes you look at your expenses in a whole different way. And it reminds entrepreneurs that we have to pay ourselves first.
Yes.
The biggest mistake that I made in my last company was I never paid myself. My husband had a good job, and so we just kept reinvesting in the company. But when it came to actual valuation of the company, owner pay was a part of what would have been profit or considered in the valuation. So it was like this crazy messed up picture that I didn't even know, because, I'm a total creative, liberal arts, poetry loving girl. I didn't know what numbers to pay attention to. And so Profit First is really a massive mindset shift on how to look at the money flowing into your business.
Okay. Now, what I wanted to, I really love our conversation. In case anyone has just joined us, this is the SpeakerMC Show, and tonight's topic is called Why Am I So Broke? And we have our two guests, Mr. Singh and Dr. Minette Riordan, and they're giving us fabulous tips on how to change our mindset around money and how to look at money as energy, and it has to continuously flow. So as we continue this conversation, we've spoken about the problem, we've spoken about how it shows up, and we've touched base on some of the solutions. Now, I just wanted to add a caveat here. I understand that rich people think differently than poor people. Would you guys know? You don't think so? One says yes, one says no. Okay, so let's hear the no first. Why do you say that rich people and poor people don't think differently?
So I think there's people that don't have a lot of money that might be typed as poor, that have a really healthy relationship with money and just have determined what the lifestyle is that they want to live. Also, I do agree that in some cases, people with a lot of money have a different mindset. And they don't spend their own money. It's actually pretty fascinating. Suki could probably talk more about this.
Other people's money.
They spend other people's money.
Yes.
But it doesn't necessarily, to me, it's all about mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And there was, I think it was National Geographic, you know, you were talking about stuff and buying stuff. There was this amazing pictorial that was done of people all over the world really looking at how much stuff they had. And so people in different countries took their entire worldly possessions and put them in front of their house and had pictures taken, right? And so I think wealth is a mindset, right? And so it doesn't matter where you're living in the world, that definition of wealth can vary dramatically.
Okay, well, we have a guest that wants to chime in. Alexander, let me see hold on one second. Let me figure out how to unmute him.
If you scroll over his picture at the bottom left, you can click on his name and you can unmute him, or he can unmute himself.
You can unmute yourself, Alexander. Take the X off the microphone. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, sorry about that. Thank you.
That's
I appreciate it. Thank you for chiming me in. I appreciate it. Everybody has great feedback. So I just wanted to make a comment and touch a point. I was invited by Suki, so thank you very much, Suki, for inviting me. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss it, so I'm on my mobile app making sure I don't miss it.
We appreciate that. Thank you for joining us.
One of the things, you know, we're all there when we don't have any money, and then we're there when we do have money. And we have to remember what got us to the point when we do have money. And one of the things that was a big, huge change is when you're starting a business with the old mindset, you always say, I don't have enough money to start my business. But an entrepreneur says, I don't know enough people to help me start my business, because he's not going to put in his own money. And that mindset in itself, that's the big difference. And
that's $1 million.
That's something that Suki has kind of instilled, and he's always kind of, you know, when we speak about it, he's like, yeah, you know, go to networking, talk to people, tell them your ideas, you know. And when you have an idea, it can't just be an idea. It has to be paper, black and white, broken down, so they can say, okay, this is a good idea. I'm willing to help you, and monetarily, with my time or my knowledge. So that's the biggest shift that for me personally, looking at money and trying to start something from scratch, is that you don't always have to do it yourself. It's sometimes more important to have the resources around you to get it started.
Yeah, it's such a great point. I love that, Alexander. It's an excellent point. I started 2 multiple 6-figure businesses with very little cash infusion on either of them. And I built them both successfully because of my willingness to go talk to people. And I have clients coming to me all the time saying, how do I make money? I'm like, go talk to people. Yes. And they're like, I don't know where, I don't know how. And I'm like, I don't care where. Go to a meetup, go to a networking group, go to your local chamber of commerce, but go have conversations, get excited, and tell everybody you know what it is that you're doing. So I'm so glad that you brought up that point.
They don't even have to go to a networking function. They can just walk the dog. I mean, people are everywhere. You know, just if you are excited about something, trust and believe that you'll get somebody as excited as you, because your passion will just sell it. It doesn't matter if you're selling poo-poo in a toilet tissue. If you're excited about that, somebody say, wow, that must be some great stuff.
Yeah, but it really is about the face-to-face connection and conversations, right? And it's not about Facebook. It's not about LinkedIn. You know, social media is great, but it's not the fastest way to cash, right? The fastest way to cash is doing things like this, where people can see your face, hear your voice, connect with your energy, really see you. In person is always best. But I have to say, I'm such a fan of Zoom. I use Zoom for all of my client calls, all my group workshops.
Oh, good.
Both group and one-on-one stuff. We use it to record our podcast. So it's amazing that we have there's such great new opportunities to create face-to-face, even virtually. But there's nothing more powerful than connecting one-on-one with people.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree. I agree. This has been amazing, 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 amazing. So money is not evil. We have to set goals. We have to track our money. We have to create, well, we didn't say create multiple streams of income, but that's one of my biggest favorites. And we have to collaborate with people, create communities, because we can't do it by ourselves. I so love this. So love this. I thank
the buckets. I think Singh's idea of the buckets was really important. That was a great takeaway for me personally.
Yes. Oh, good. Woo! Yeah, Mr. Singh, you got it going on.
Thank you. It's been quite an hour. It's been great with both of you. It's been fantastic.
Well, now we've reached the point where we'd like to showcase our guests. So who would like to go first? Well, ladies first. Minette, I'd like for you to take the next 5 minutes to just tell people a little bit about your passion for profit for passion.
Path to profit.
Path to profit. Oh, I'm stuck on passion. Your path to profit and how we can connect with you and any events that you have coming up. Just give us the rundown.
Sure. Thanks. I appreciate that. So I did build a big business that wasn't profitable. And I had a lot of shame around that, around the fact that we could be grossing all this money, but that I wasn't getting paid. Every mistake you can make as an entrepreneur, I've made it. I learned all those lessons. I also learned what to do right and how to turn it around and to get really focused on profit. And one of the things I learned, Marcia, was that I was focused on making money, not focused on making a profit. And those are two very different things.
Yes.
But I always thought if I just make one more sale, if I just do this one more thing, if I just work a little bit harder, then my cash flow will even out. And it wasn't the truth. The truth is never about working harder. It's always about working smarter. And I also learned that I am super creative in how I do things. And if it's not colorful, pretty, and fun, I'm not going to do it. So while I will be the first one to say how important a business plan is, I like a one-page business plan that looks like a mandala and has lots of pretty colors on it, because then I'll actually commit to getting it done and stick to it. So I realize that who I love working with are other creatives that want to understand how to bring their creativity into their business, and that understand that while going with the flow is really awesome, that without structure and systems, you'll never be as successful as you want to be in your business. So I've combined creativity and systems into the Path to Profit Academy. And we regularly host 3-day live events called the Path to Profit, Design Your Roadmap to Success. The next one is happening December 2nd to 4th in Los Angeles, California. You can find out more at pathtoprofitacademy.com/LA Summit. I'll type that in the chat as well. That's pathtoprofitacademy.com/LA Summit. And it's free to attend. You pay $97 to reserve your seat. And when you get there, I give you your money back. And so if you're curious about the business model behind that, that's for another conversation later. But what I love most and what I'm most passionate about is helping people to create wildly profitable businesses that they're passionate about. Because it's okay to make profit in your business, and it's super fun to have that money so that you can have finally the freedom and the flexibility. That's why you became an entrepreneur in the first place.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. Let me ask you, as a creative that loves color, what is your favorite color?
How can I pick? You really want me to pick? How about red? For red wine.
Yes.
I've got red wine. I've got my cup of tea. Everything's red. My earrings are red. So,
oh, wow. I love that. I love that. I love that.
And you're wearing red. So, yeah. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Minette has, let's go to Suki. Suki, can you just tell us a little bit about your venture and what's coming up for you?
Well, again, I want to thank Marcia for having me on the show. It's been such a great honor to be around such smart people. And so as for me, as I said previously, I'm a freelance financial consultant. So what I do is help people grow their wealth not according to my standards, because the main difference that I'll emphasize is that most advisors get paid on selling, where I get paid on performance. So that's the bigger difference between me and everybody else. And I also coach individuals, specifically people who want to take on investing and investing in the markets and in real estate in nowadays, so they can grow their wealth individually. So if they want to do that themselves, I can teach them through. I have a 3-month program and a 6-month program, which is tailored for them. And if you're interested in getting in touch with me, definitely reach out to me at www.investsingh. So that's SINGH.com. And I have a webinar coming up on October 5th at 7 p.m. It's going to be a webinar basically talking about the basics of investing and trading and how the market generally works. So it'll be for beginners, and it'll be for people who want to just learn more and gain more knowledge about the markets, because a lot of people are afraid of the markets, which shouldn't be, because it's underlying ran by people, and people are trained to be emotional as human nature. So humans will be humans as always. So that'll be October 5th at 7 p.m. And I look for, and also if any of the other viewers just want to speak to me, I can give a free consultation for a 30-minute free consultation on your financial plan and your financial checkup to see where you're at, to see how you're doing. Because a lot of people have advisors, but they don't know how they're doing.
Right.
Are they doing well? Are they not doing well? So a lot of people just have advisors, which is great, but they don't know how to track and measure their performance. So
could I just ask you, Suki, to type it in the chat right there where they can reach you? And Minette, what is your free offering for our guests today?
Thank you for reminding me of that. I realized after I stopped, I didn't offer that. So being the creative that I am and believing that money is energy, I actually have a 7-day free e-course called Money, Meditation, and Mandalas. It's all about manifesting abundance. And you can find that at pathtoprofitacademy.com/aspire. And I'll type that into the group as well so people can see that. This is totally free. And it's for people that want to bring an element of creativity to what it is that they're doing. But it's a combination of being very intentional about your actions, as well as, so it's a combination of inner work, the mindset piece, and the outer work, taking the specific actions to make money in your business.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love that. That is awesome. That is awesome. So in case you guys are wondering, these were our guests, and I'm your host. And you might be saying, well, who are you? Well, my name is Marcia Chambers. I'm the host of the SpeakerMC Show. And I have created a Swell for Women, SWELL, which is sexual wellness and empowered lifestyle living for women. And this teaches women about the pleasurable benefits as well as the healthful benefits of adult toys so that they can live their lives in confidence and get so fulfilled so that we have women in better moods walking around. So that is under construction, and it will be done by the end of this month. So coming soon to a webinar near you will be Swell for Women with Marcia Chambers. So look it up on my website. It's marciachambers.com, and you'll see Swell for Women coming soon. I so love that we had this time together in our sandbox. I so enjoyed every moment. It was engaging. And thank you, Alexander, for chiming in today. We do appreciate you being on our call. And Suki, much love to you. Minette, much love to you. I thank you both for supporting the SpeakerMC Show. And the SpeakerMC Show is on Monday nights at 9 p.m. And the next show will be on Monday, September 26th. And it will be talking about, are we a couple? Where there is no communication or miscommunication, two people are dating, and one thinks that the other one is cheating. Well, you didn't ask, so stay tuned for that show. That's going to be fun. So join us on the SpeakerMC Show. Please check us out on Facebook. Facebook.com/the SpeakerMC Show. And there's a group link where you could chat away, chat away. If you enjoyed the show, please feel free to leave some feedback. If you didn't enjoy the show, well, we're sorry. If there's anything that we could do to help you next time, let us know. But we're here to assist, and we're here to make everyone's experience the best. I thank our guests again and hope to see you soon. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.